can't escape from the team called the morning steam. It's time to break, run for cover. That's gonna cover, that's gonna cash. Then we make the 100-yard dash to the window. I don't know what you thought. It's Ramon Scott running so hot. Sports make money and we make money with sports money every single day. NFL, NHL, NCAA. Stay away from the juice, we might play a parlay. It's the morning steam. What? Ramon Scott, sports money. What? Wake your ass up and let's get to the money. Get to the money. You know how we do it.
And a pleasant good morning to you from the sports betting capital of the world, Las Vegas. This is Ramon Scott. Welcome to the Morning Steam Show for Wednesday, February 5th here on the Sports Money Network. Hope you guys enjoyed last night's coverage of our companion stream for the Cavaliers and the Celtics. Celtics get it done big time fashion last night in a battle of two of the top teams in the Eastern Conference, if not the entire league. And it was the Celtics getting that win impressively over Cleveland, holding off a late charge last night. We had a lot of fun watching that game and a bunch of others last night with the guys here on the Sports Money Network. Hope you're able to join us for that stream. And we got all of our other programming here this week on the Sports Money Network as well. We're going to have a Super Bowl package late in the week here, as well as our UFC companion coverage on Saturday of UFC 312 from Sydney, Australia. Should be a good card. And of course, we're going to have our additional previews, including mine with BB, already out here on the videos tab, and First Strike as well, to get you set and ready for the coverage on Saturday. So make sure you check us out here on Super Bowl week. It's going to be great. Just 5 days away right now from Super Bowl 59. And I think we've seen just a slight move here from maybe in the last day since we spoke. I think we talked about some of the books maybe moving to -1 on the Chiefs. And I think that's what we're looking at in a majority of the books right now. I don't know, maybe 75%, maybe 65% of the books right now, with one, and the others are, 1.5 or so. I think the general total right now is 49, but moving lower. I think we're seeing some 48.5s here. And, for something that did touch their 50 just right at the peak of the opener and then just steadily has gone down here a little bit, that's what the general line feels like at 1 and 49 as we get ready for the Super Bowl here this week. All right, and so pretty fun night last night, including that NBA action, pretty big NBA card. We were able to get a few cashers here. Want to shout out, of course, the consensus yesterday. You guys called the pace right. You guys had it right with the under there, and I said, oh, not so fast, but you guys made the call correctly on the Celtics and Cavaliers game. I had other winners, though, on there last night, including on the show, Dallas and Philadelphia game to go over. We had the Brooklyn Nets last night, plus those points against Houston. I guess the Nets own the Rockets. There, we also had a winner here on the show with the Knicks and the Raptors game to go over. I had the Bulls here on the show yesterday over the Miami Heat there. So did have some okay results there, it felt like, in the NBA, but I whiffed on my premiums yesterday in the NBA. NHL, a little bit more success there, particularly here on the show. Team Steam Consensus put me on a winner last night with the Boston Bruins over the Minnesota Wild, impressively as a favorite. I did go with the under on the show, but it was Team Steam Consensus with the Bruins yesterday. Great job in the chat. Buffalo yesterday I had as a premium pick. Winner here on Winnable yesterday. Also, winner on the show here with Vegas and the Islanders game to go under was my call yesterday, as well as unders in Edmonton and St. Louis, a show winner here, and also Carolina and Winnipeg under, show winner here. Had some nice winners on the show, including the Detroit Red Wings yesterday. I had Vancouver over Colorado. I had the Ducks on the puck line there against Dallas, and we did have late night premium pick winner and a show winner here. We had Montreal on the show yesterday against San Jose, and we had a premium pick winner on the under in that one. Let me say hello to some folks in the chat. Get ready for our show. We got some steam popping up. We got a lot of college basketball today. Big card of action here in the NBA, and 3 games on the ice. Good morning to everyone. Subscribe to our channel, Sports Money Network. Like this video, share it, and thank you for joining me here today. Joe T is here as well. Check us out over in the posts tab on Sports Money. We're running our polls right now. We want to gather all of the information and your votes as part of our program on Friday, I believe, previewing the Super Bowl. We're going to tally up all the results. And also shout out to Joe for that winner yesterday with Detroit and Seattle, if I'm not mistaken. Was it Detroit? Yeah, Detroit and Seattle game to go over yesterday. And check us out over there. All the polls, we'd like you to vote in them, and we're going to include that as some of our featured programming and that. See what the fans think of Super Bowl 59. I'm pretty much on the record after last night what I'm going with, and I said it could be my last week here on the channel unless I lose. Okay, a Sub is here. Good morning. Great job last night, Sub. Joe W's here. Blue is here. Thomas, Gerardo as well. See what we got here. Checking out some of the action today. Copa action. I know Sub was big last night. He was talking up the EFL Cup game with Arsenal and Newcastle. Certainly has to be one of the features today. Copa Italia in there today. There's a game tonight in the Mexican League. Pokal in Germany as well. CONCACAF Champions League. Tigres is playing and Monterrey is playing as well. So a game in the championship. So not a lot of heavy features, but a little something for everybody today on the pitch. Bobby Mack is here today. He had a great day yesterday. And I remember him talking about some winners for sure in there. And let's see. And Shannon's here today too. And we'll preview probably about a dozen college basketball games, it feels like, as well as all this NBA here in just a moment. Good night, I thought, in college basketball. There was some exciting. The big upset in the SWAC. Did anybody there watching the show last night when I don't know, they even the big upset in the SWAC last night with Pine Bluff getting the win over Texas Southern, really ruining Texas Southern's chance for a regular season championship. It felt like yesterday as Pine Bluff got their first win in conference play at the expense of Texas Southern in an upset. Other games last night we talked about. Here on the show yesterday, I had Michigan State. They got the money against UCLA. UCLA won the game a very close fashion, 63-61. You saw Kareem, you saw Magic, and you saw UCLA, however, get the win last night. They really Michigan State was turning the ball over, and UCLA wasn't. That was pretty much what determined that one. Bruins have now won 6 in a row. All of a sudden, they're 8-4 in conference play. How about the game last night between Georgia Tech and Clemson? I had a premium pick on the under, but the game went 3 overtimes. You had Nate George with 28 points, 7 assists, and Georgia Tech won in triple overtime, 89-86. St. John's won their 9th in a row with a win over Marquette, 70-64. They dominated the boards in that one. St. John's 11-1 in the Big East. They can't shoot, but they can't lose. So good job by St. John's there yesterday. And Mikey Money and I both had the under on that game. We took him here in the morning, and Mikey took him in the afternoon. So that was kind of a Mikey Money special there. Hopefully you guys are on that under. Texas Tech beat Baylor, and they continue to play well, man. Texas Tech 18-4 all of a sudden. What was I thinking yesterday on the show with Baylor? Texas Tech continues to be strong, especially, offensively, defensively, watch out. Might be time to take a flyer on Texas Tech, maybe add them to the portfolio right now, the way they're looking. Drake in the game against Murray State yesterday. What a game, 55-45. I think Keith was talking about on the show last night, taking that under in that game. What a wild one that was. So we did have some winners here on the show, and with some premium picks. I had Davidson over Dayton as a premium pick winner. We gave out Purdue and Iowa over here on the show last night, the game last night. Also, premium pick winner, Eastern Illinois and Edwardsville, 2 go under. Premium pick winner as well, Utah State and Wyoming game, 2 go over. Also, we were on Wisconsin with a premium pick winner. They rolled over Indiana yesterday, and a couple show winners late. We had Arizona and BYU game, 2 go over here on the show yesterday morning, and we had Boise State, and they got it done against UNLV. All right. Let's say hello to a few more folks in the chat and get started with our day. And let's get going with this NBA card. Who else is here, though? Nate there. He said he might have had him on the money line there yesterday. Peasy there. Clemson. You know what? I can't figure out this ACC with some of these games tonight. Some of the ACC, when you got the California teams hosting games here. Billy Siegfried today is here. Perky is here as well. Great to have you here, Perk. All right. And let's see here, Andrew G as well. All right. You can get my best picks today over at winnable.com/. I'll have my top plays over there for just $4, or you can get it also for $8 a week or $19.95 a month. Use the promo code STEAM to save 20%. You can click the QR code in the lower right-hand corner of the screen, and that'll take you right over to my winnable page where you can get my top plays for today. Packages come out usually 30 minutes to a couple of hours before the games, usually on the weekends a little earlier. The weekdays, we try to wait to get that lineup info that we all like to have. And hey, we go up against a tough line and try to produce some winners here. And we'll be back at it today over at winnable.com. More content from me. We're viewers supported here, so that's how you support me here on the channel, by subscribing to that relatively inexpensive package there with some extra plays for you here. Hopefully going to give you a bunch of winners here in just a moment. Preview the action. So join me over there. Thanks a lot for listening to that. And we'll get started with our NBA card. Big good card tonight. There we go. All right, there I am. There's a address there. If you don't snap that QR code, and there's the promo code STEAM. All right, let's get ready to go to the NBA right now. Get your pens, pencils, and rotation orders ready. It's time to get a bunch of winners from you guys, hopefully here. We'll try to pick the consensus parlay. I know the consensus parlay did go down yesterday with the what game was it? The Sixers against the Mavericks. Oh, you know what? I think we had the winner on that one, actually. I'm going to say, the consensus loser was the Lakers-Clippers game over. That's what it was. We actually, how did you do in the Dallas-Philadelphia game? That one landed right on the, right in the split, right? We talked about it early on in the day and team consensus. I'm sure we laid 1.5 there, but the line eventually went up to 4.5, and I think it fell in between that. As by the end of the game, it was actually Dallas that got the money. So, all right, let's go here, though, with today's games. And, well, we've got the Cavaliers in action back-to-back, taking on the Pistons here. The Cavs off that game last night. And, they fought back and got in there, but Boston always had the answer there eventually and got that win over Cleveland here. Now, Cleveland will come in and be a favorite here on the road, still playing well. Detroit, they're still doing a pretty good job of covering spreads as an underdog. We know that Cleveland's been pretty terrific against the spread. Could it be a bounce back, though, despite the back-to-back situation here for Cleveland coming into this one? I think that's the question to be asked here with this particular roll, right? I'm showing mostly 5.5s out there right now, and the total is at 238. So let's see what you guys think. If that feels like the storyline anyway here, I think the trends maybe favor an over here with these two teams. Cleveland 15-6 to the over on the road. Detroit generally an over here for the most part, but mostly it's Cleveland. We think of them as strong defensively, but they also can score. And let's go to the chat in this one. See what we got.
Critical notice.
Donuts here today. Hello. Thomas says he likes the under in this one.
Final.
Cleveland and Detroit. Up and a little bit. I'm just getting the result in here that Felix Auger-Aliassime had to retire from his match today against Babasori. After the second set, it was 1-1, but he had to retire out of the tournament there. And Sonabi, the young sensation, got pretty much worked over by Ons Jabeur that final just a few minutes ago. We were looking forward to see how this young sensation would fare, Sonabi, but Jabeur put her down 6-3, 6-3. Okay, here we go. Cavs suspicious at this line, this price. Does it look too cheap? Here's Blue, likes the under. Robert says Cavs. This is a Cavs bounce back spot here, possibly against Detroit. Fernando does like the under here. Seems like the Cavs, kind of get their way when they need it. I don't want to go against. I think the Detroit's the spot, but I'm not sure I can get off the Cavs here since they got smacked around last night. I think Billy says they got smoked. And I think Bill's saying, bounce back here. They got smoked in the game against Boston, a game they, were dominated pretty much from start to finish. They got to within 4 late, but could not overcome Boston last night. All right, I'm going to have to make the call here. The spot says Detroit, but I'm just not sure I can do it. Even with the obvious, I don't know if the line is, like you said, is it a trap? Is it low for a reason? All right, I guess you guys are in with it right here. Cleveland has won this series 11 straight times here right now. And I'm going to have to take the Cavs. I can't help it. I feels very square here. I think you're supposed to take the Pistons in the spot. All right, got some steam coming in here right now. On the extra board with West Georgia, they were getting 13. They're down to 12 here right now, and there's our first steam of the day. Well, on the show here anyway, with West Georgia plus 13. Also, Austin P took some steam at +6 or so. I think they're going to go all the way down to 5. It might be 5.5 right now, but Austin P took some steam against North Alabama. All right. See, we got some more comments here as we get started the show. Nasty Nate says Celtics got the money. Billy says Cleveland's still just too young. Says Boston can get them in the if that's the Eastern Conference Finals. So we are getting some more comments on that game last night for sure. And you guys had it right. All right. I'm going to take Cleveland. I'm going to lay it. Doesn't feel great. All right, next up. The Bucks here on the road against the Hornets, and the Bucks are favored by 9 here. Call it 10.5. Why not? I mean, why wouldn't the Bucks just go out and smash these guys? They kill everybody, right? I don't know. I know this Hornets team is in a dismal situation here right now. The total's gone up here to 220 right now. So take a look at some of the numbers in here, but Milwaukee obviously struggles to get any numbers. It's hard enough for them to win games right now, it feels like. It's just that Charlotte is in a long losing streak here as well. Bucks have actually lost 4 in a row coming in, and Charlotte's also on a string of losses here, so still feels uncomfortable, like they can cover some double digits here. Two teams struggling no matter how you look at it. The Bucks are having problems. So, the personnel may be the shortcomings of Charlotte here in this one. He's got Ball still out right now. Cody Martin, he's definitely out in this one. For Milwaukee, you've got Giannis questionable. You've got Lillard questionable. The line going up seems to indicate that maybe those guys will be in, or the fact that the players that were out last game, including, Portis, Middleton, and Lopez, are all probable here tonight. So maybe that's why the line is going up. But I'm not sure I can trust them to cover this big number. All they got to do is win, no matter what. Hello to Sancho today. Thomas is on Charlotte. Curtis, good morning. Hello. And Billy says, when 2 good games play, stay away from the game. Just bet the over. Fernando's on the over in this one with Charlotte and Milwaukee. I'm going to take the dog, and I'm going to take Charlotte here, plus 10.5. The Bucks don't cover much anyways. They did cover some numbers as let's see here. Back against Utah, 125-110. It feels like a similar spot to that here, no doubt. But still, Charlotte, no matter how you look at it, 23-14 against the spread as an underdog is kind of the one number that still continues to stand out when looking at the teams against the number overall, and Milwaukee 10-14 against the spread on the road. All right. And our Tom's hello there. Yeah, Jermaine, we already got some of the best people on that in the world, and we pretty much catch it every time. Every time there's some type of finagling with the legalities of it, we pretty much bust those guys pretty much every single time. It's pretty easy because they're not too smart, and they leave a trail because everything's done kind of electronically now through apps and everything. So they always catch them. All right, I'm going to take the Hornets here in this one. I don't know why I can't take Detroit against Cleveland if I can take the Hornets against the Bucks. I don't know. It's, not exactly the same thing, but why don't I do that? What is telling me not to do it? that is capping or not here. Let's go with the Heat and the Sixers in this one. And the Heat are favored on the road. And now, with a little bit of certainty with the lineups, right? The Heat know that, hey, we're not going to have Butler in here. We got to go on with this lineup and move forward. Now, all of a sudden, maybe the Heat will look pretty much, a little better. Now, they did lose that last game. A little bit disappointing there against the Bulls as the Bulls got away at the end. The Heat were playing pretty well in that game, but the Bulls pulled away. But I don't know. I kind of like their spot here against Philadelphia here tonight. The widely reported steam did come in on the over. I think it's probably higher than this number for sure on the screen. I'm showing 218 right now in that one. Maybe I could have reversed these. Actually, I think I'm already giving away what I'm doing here, and I think I want to, a premium in this game. I like both side and total, and I don't know. That's still getting away. I still like the over. I mean, you look at these two teams. I've got to think over right now, or with Philadelphia and Miami. But I think I'll take Miami here. I think I already spit it out to take the Heat. They do play pretty well against sub-500 teams on the road. And Philadelphia has not fared well at home against the Heat. So I think the Heat can gain a little confidence here. Their numbers against the spread aren't very good, and they've kind of struggled here of late as well, failing to cover in 7 of their last 10 games overall. But Philadelphia, certainly bad as well. Yes, they've had a few covers here for sure of late. Again, whether or not you want to judge last night as it almost feels like you could call it a push, but they did fail to cover that number against Dallas, I guess, technically on that final line, ending their cover streak. So Philly's actually been doing an okay job here of late. They've also gone over in 8 of their last 9 games at home coming in. So, all right, I'm going to take the Heat as my play here on the show at -1.5. Sorry, chat. I need to go say hi to you guys and see what you got for this game before I go spouting off what I'm doing. Because what if we had a consensus or something? All right, let's see here. Sixers for Perk. And Nasty Nate saying, I mean, if you took the Cavs to beat the Celtics, they should smash Detroit. All right, maybe I can look at it that way. I mean, I think we're still looking at 2 strong teams, but the spot to me said, I mean, with the Cavs on the back-to-back, that's what I feel like. I think you're supposed to take the Pistons here there's a thing like it's called like a technical handicapper, where a spot like that, I think getting look. Yes, you should bounce back after getting smashed, but you can also argue, hey, that was they got extended in that game. They had to play hard against an elite team. Losing a game at home like that, you want to win those. You want to win them all, but all right, Thomas likes the over. Fernando likes the Heat. Of course, yes, we know Embiid. I mean, this situation right now, and like I said, that total has really just been moving here of late. But Embiid out of this one, of course. Drummond questionable, George questionable, Lowry questionable. It's a down the line. Kenyon Martin questionable, Eric Gordon questionable. So I'm on the Heat here. And we'll be coming in late. Check those lineups. Robert likes the over too, so I'm sure I'm going to be using it. Just got to see. I'm sure they'll be in there. And our Thompson on the Heat there. All right, Jermaine, I think there. He wants I think something that relates to the Super Bowl there. And Thomas says, give me the Heat. All right. I'm on the Heat too. Man, there were some Sixer support there for sure, I think, but a lot of Heat too. Okay. Spurs and Hawks here in this one, with the Spurs favored on the road here at I might have this one out of order, right? Because, sorry about that if I screwed this up. The Spurs-Hawks game was moved to 7:10 Eastern and 4:10 Pacific. I wouldn't screw Thomas up there because he knows the order of the games like I do, and probably like you do too. But nonetheless, even if I'm out of order here, let's go with it. The Spurs here, well, too late now. Spurs 21-26 and lost a couple in a row here. The Hawks snapped their losing streak last time out with a win over Detroit. They got the money in that one. And, the Spurs are kind of a little bit of a runaway favorite here. They're up to 5 at some spots here right now. This total, definitely a couple of points higher here, up to 243 here in this one. Woo, boy. Oh, I'm sure it's going to be a high-scoring game. I mean, that's obvious, but, man, you got to draw the line somewhere, don't you? Feels like I want to, but still, these two teams are always going over, it feels like, especially the Spurs right now. They've gone over in 8 of their last 10. Atlanta's gone over in 15 of 22 home games so far this season. It feels like a high score, but man, that total is pretty high. And 5 of the last 7 years, the game has actually gone under when these two teams have met. So, oh man. Let's see what you guys have in this one with Atlanta and San Antonio. Atlanta's covered 4 of their last 5 games overall. They're a pretty good dog, 18-13 as an underdog. So I get it. As Spurs playing, much, much better right now. They're still the same records pretty much. Spurs have a worse record here coming in. Trae Young, probable here today. Chris Paul, questionable, but you got all kinds of Hawks. Capella is out of this game. Bogdanovich has been out here now for a while. Johnson's been out for a week. So Hawks do have some injury woes here, but I don't know if the Spurs can be totally trusted to get a number on the road against an Atlanta team that, hey, at least they cover, as a dog here a little bit. See what you have in this one. All right. I think Thomas says Miami was a consensus play back there. Wow. Okay. We're down with the Heat. Here we go with Atlanta here. James Parham likes the over in this one. Thomas likes the over as well. It is easy to like the over. It feels like that I just feel like it's too high. The rent's too high. Art Tom said, what I take in the Cleveland game, I ended up laying it with Cleveland. I think I, faded the technical trend there a little bit. Trevor here today says the Spurs to cover this one. Sancho's on the Hawks. Fernando's on the Hawks. And I think I'm going to take the Hawks here. And yeah, for sure. I'm pretty sure that Fox is expected to be in that lineup. How is he going to work into this lineup? Feels like pretty good looking at this spread. Is this really the feel there that the Spurs are going to encounter here? And why can't Sacramento have nice things? All right, I think that might be in this one. Hawks under here. I think maybe R. Thompson and I can kind of see eye to eye here on this, but I'm just probably going to have to back off right now. I respect what everybody's saying about the over. I mean, look, it should be a total over if you think about what these two teams have been up to. Atlanta's 30-20 to the over this year.
Steam play.
Got some college basketball steam. I probably should get these in here. All right. I'm going to take the Hawks here. I can't pass up this Hawks plus the points, I guess. I think, the Spurs will be much improved. I'm sure it'll be great with him in the lineup. Just what they're looking for. Yeah, I see what you're saying in there as well. Maybe Redbeard said, "Let's see one. Let's see one first." Well, I don't get that option here. All right. Yeah, and we'll see because that total look 241, 243 right now. I might bet it, but I might not give it out on the under. Wizards and Nets in this one. The Nets off of that win over Houston, and now they got a team they can beat here, and they're favored by 2. So I don't know. It's hard to recommend a premium on any bad teams, but maybe the Brooklyn Nets might be one of them. Both teams come in with a 2-game winning streak. This is a hot matchup. Here in the game between Washington and Brooklyn today. Brooklyn's actually covered 3 in a row. They beat Houston consecutive games, and they covered against Charlotte as an underdog there. No, what was that? No, they lost that one, right? Oh, I don't remember now. The other night when the Nets played Charlotte. Anyways, Washington beat Charlotte. Washington beat Minnesota. So they're actually playing a little bit better here as well. But I think for me, I'm going to end up here. I'll just probably default to the total is what I'm going to do. I think when you got to Brooklyn, we know they're under City right now. They've totally been going under here, but I don't know if I'm going to go under. It's 7 straight unders right now for Brooklyn coming in. But I think when you have 2 bad teams like this, right, Brooklyn's key is they're overmatched against some of their opponents, but they're a really good cover as an underdog, right? So here they are favored now, and again, a team against they can score a little bit better is what it feels like to me. And I feel contrarian in this spot. Like I want to play the over here. Look, we've been beating up on these Brooklyn unders here of late. We've been all over them, but I might be going the other way here unless the chat just loves the under because we've been going under and they end up on a consensus or something because I think I want the over. All right. Jermaine in there talking. Maybe some guys are shunned from the All-Star game because they're not the big name. Maybe some of the big names need to step aside. I think that's what Jermaine is saying there. He says the Wiz stay hot here. Fernando's on the Wizards. Robert is kind of like me thinking this one. I mean, you can't argue with Brooklyn's under record right now. They are going under every game, but Thomas is on Washington. Bill is on the under. And R. Tom says the Nets to go over. And Thomas is saying Mahomes wasn't in the Pro Bowl, but I don't think they took the Super Bowl players at the Pro Bowl. He might not have been anyways. Remember, the funny thing about Mahomes is that his statistics would say, right? And I think this is what I was talking or what I'll be talking about later this week with Mahomes and, his statistics and his potential in the Super Bowl. I believe he had like the lowest yards per completion or yards per attempts anyway of his career, right? So what he was doing was throwing a lot of completions to, it feels like a lot of receivers. I think that's what's going to happen in the Super Bowl. I think Mahomes, I don't know if he's going to reach his completion numbers in the Super Bowl. 24 looks a little bit high. But even at 20, I think he could get to as many as 6 or 7 different targets in the game, maybe 8. And I think that's what's going to be key for Kansas City, as it has been in a lot of their games, right? I think when they were heavily favored in all those games and we all made fun of the Chiefs because they weren't covering any games, that they were just playing a straight, conservative, excellent game plan every time, relying on that intelligent defense that they have. And I think that's what you're going to see again. And, don't turn it over. And that was the Super Bowl preview right in the middle of this game between the Spurs and what are we on? We're on the Wizards and the Nets. We just did the Super Bowl, or no? All right. Let's see here. Hello to Cash Kane. And Andrew says just over 6 yards per attempt. So think that's what we're seeing there. All right. Well, I guess okay. I'm going to go a little bit. I'm going to go with the over in this game and say that what we've seen from the Nets, we'll continue to see. When the Nets are overmatched and they're getting a bunch of points, those games are going to go under. You know, it's going to be 96 to 88. It's going to be 103 to 94. And the Nets may even cover some of those games. I think going against a team that maybe now they can have a little bit more offensive success here. I'm actually going to take the over with the Wizards and the Nets. No, I can't read off any trends. I'd be making myself look silly. Okay, the Grizzlies are taking on the Raptors here in this one with they're talking about high totals, right? The Grizzlies here favored by 9.5 against our Toronto Raptors that we've been making so many great bets with, it feels like. Well, Memphis is also one of the best spread teams too. So it's who can you trust? Maybe here in this one, you're still getting big points, right? Memphis still's got to lay a number here, and maybe they've succeeded in mostly more closely rated matchups against comparable competition, and they were underrated. And now here they're going to be rated pretty strong, of course, against the Raptors. Memphis is also on a 3-game winning streak. We know the teams basically have opposite records, but look, when you got a team that like Toronto that at least gets the money a lot of times, I think they can get the money as a home dog here. It feels like at 8. Total is currently at it's 9, huh? 9 and 238. Wow, it's gone down here on this total here on some widely reported steam. So the moves on Memphis, good on you. But I'm going to take the Toronto Raptors. And, man, that move to the under. So, if anything, I think I'm fading this move by taking the Raptors. But I might like the value there now with the total. Look, Memphis has still had plenty of overs, right? We know on the road they're one of the biggest overs of the whole league, 19-5 to the over on the road. Toronto, not a great over team, but they are 15-12 to the over at home. So, anyways, I'm going to take the Raptors plus the points in this. I'm gonna trust that the Raptors, like I said, no doubt Memphis gets the money, but I think against good teams and maybe sometimes they're getting points even, not very often. But what is their record as a dog here? 17-8. So favorite 22-10, 17 days of whatever, right? No matter what, they're pretty awesome. So, all right, and they've covered a lot of these games on these the East Coast swing. Let's go to the chat and see what you have in this one. Grizzlies and Raptors. Hello to Randall. Nice to have you. Thank you for all your support. And lay it with the Grizz, says Cash Kane. Thomas is laying it with the Grizzlies here. I might be in the minority here in this one. Oh, no, Toronto. I've got Jerry here. Toronto and under. And, Jermaine talking about Durant. Is it over? It does feel like right now with KD here at this point. So let's see what happens. You don't want it to be, but look, if you see what's been up, right, with Phoenix overall, when a team is bad against the spread, you're kind of broken down. You're not achieving much, and that's what we've seen. So where will KD go next? What situation will he blow up next? Sorry, KD. Right. Maybe that's where could be the one place it could work, Billy, right? One place where it could work out. Jerry says Toronto. You know what? And that's, if I'm not mistaken, Jerry, that's not the first week we've seen Toronto have a big defensive week this season. JW on the Grizzlies, a lot of Grizzlies. You gotta like Memphis here. I'm on Toronto. I'm still gonna try to score with that on home dog. That definitely get some money here. But Memphis has been great as well. Great comments in here. Talking to Billy says, if you like the Chiefs, no, I don't. I actually don't like Kelsey's total. I think it is 10 yards too many. But again, I think, look, I like everyone to get involved. I'm suggesting we're taking props on like the whole roster, especially the mid-range receivers, possibly in this game, because I think Mahomes uses all the weapons in a more equal fashion. Nothing to overwhelm or stand out, but I'm ready to go in on some of those guys like Noah Gray, like Kareem Hunt, like Pacheco, who thought thought Pacheco was kind of left in the dust a little bit, like he'd be the injury, but I think he looks ready, and maybe even down to Juju.
Final.
Okay, here we go. I gotta like Noah Gray. Oh, maybe he means Goddard, but no, I mean I like Noah Gray actually. And also on Nuke, I like Hopkins. He's probably my favorite guy there to get his reasonable. I could ramp him up a little bit. All right, the Bulls and Timberwolves here. We got to keep it moving here right now with the Bulls. They're getting a big number of the Timberwolves here, man. What's going on with that now? Yes, do have to adjust here a little bit and see what the Bulls lineup is going to look like here tonight. And they've got injuries as well with Terry questionable, Sanogo questionable, THD questionable here, Duarte questionable. Julius Randle is out still for Minnesota, but man, that's a big number here. But I don't know. I think the situation is supposed to be Minnesota to crush it here. It just it's obviously a big number. 11.5 and 228 now. It's gone up here for the Wolves. They've lost 2 straight here right now after a little bit of a winning streak. Just lost to Sacramento and to Washington. That's not real good. Meanwhile, Chicago did have a good effort against Miami in that win. They've also recently beat Toronto. They recently beat Denver as well. So that's a lot of points for sure. Now, this series, I think, has been mostly an over series here. Total currently at 228 in this one. The overs hit in 8 of the last 9 meetings between these two teams, even though they meet just twice a year. So let's see what you can do. Maybe this is just too many points, even for me trying to stick to these spots a little bit. The next game up, the Suns and the Thunder. I'm not moving on. We're going to finish this, but total is getting steamed right now in the Suns and the Thunder. It was 226, but it is going up right this second. We're going to preview that one's next. All right, let's see here. Redbeard likes Kelsey, 2 TDs. I had to pump the brakes here on Kelsey for sure. I think I gave back all the money I made on Kelsey. Okay, here we go. We're looking for the Bulls and the Timberwolves here. And let's see here. Okay, Timberwolves for JW. Bulls are just too small. Bulls are too small. Bulls lineup is too small, I think. Is that what he means? Yep. Okay. Great to see all that Super Bowl chat right now. I mean, no reason not to acknowledge it. Chicago here for Thomas. And Jermaine said, proper. T-Wolves do not cover at home. Remember, they're one of the worst in the league, 8-18 at home against the spread. 13-26 against the spread as a favorite. So, good enough for me. I'll take the Bulls here. I'll try them here at 11.5. That just feels very high, but I think the spot says blowout. But I'll take the points. I can't. I'm gonna take it. Just what you're saying there about the kind of the role for Minnesota at home. They do not cover numbers very well at all, and this is a big number against a team that has played some good teams competitively of late. All right. Billy says, the Bulls, though, do give it up big time sometimes, and teams just walk on by, as evidenced by their 26-21 record to the over as an underdog. Bulls team total under for Terrell. Robert does like the over. And I will take the Bulls. Let's keep it going right now. And so now we know, with talking about KD here, yes, he's out, but is he awaiting here? I think I've messed up the order a little bit. Let me get it right. We can come back to KD. You got to move Utah up here, and the Warriors in Utah, because the other games have been moved down, I think, a little bit. Okay, let me do this with Warriors and Jazz next, okay? Warriors here, -6.5. The total has dropped here to 226.5 in this one, with the Warriors on the road here. Warriors have won 3 of their last 4 games coming in with wins over Orlando, OKC, and Utah. Ironically, their loss was to Phoenix. Utah comes in here. They just covered against Indiana in a loss, and they beat Orlando. That was a game that ended a bit of a losing streak for Utah, but right now the Warriors are going to come in a pretty substantial favorite here. They got steamed up to 7 here at some spots right now, and like I said, this total has been dropping here for some reason. I don't know. It's no doubt the Warriors on the road, they do trend under 8-13 to the under. Meanwhile, Utah 9-12 to the under at home, but I don't know if they can really slow even the Warriors here, right? Yes, maybe winning or covering might be a little bit tough, but Golden State has gone under in 5 straight games on the road as a favorite. But I would have to think that this one sets up okay. Let me take a look at a few. Yeah, I'm going to be contrarian here. I don't know. See what you guys want to do. Let me go to the chat. Maybe we will get support. I want the Warriors. Even laying this number. Okay, here we go. This one's tough. Thomas likes Utah here. Okay, yeah, not much maybe from this great game. Robert is on the under here. I might be opposite of everybody. Jermaine's on the under. Okay. Yeah, Golden State, they're definitely producing unders here right now, and I can't say much for the over here other than the fact that if I like the Warriors to cover this game, I think I got to like the over. So I'm taking the Warriors here -6. They don't feel like a great favorite at all, but the Warriors have covered 7 of their last 10. Despite a little bit of a negative perception, I would guess right now from how they've kind of been performing here a little bit. But okay, that's it for that one. We got a few more here. Let me make sure I'm getting the order right. The next game will be the Pelicans and the Nuggets. All right, and you got the Nuggets favored here by 10.5 in this one. And the total is 239 here, with Denver coming in, riding a 3-game winning streak. The Pelicans are on a losing streak right now, big time. Denver, they're not covering necessarily in a lot of these wins, but they did get the number against New Orleans. They covered 9.5 by 12 points. But we've said time and time again how tough it's been for the Nuggets to cover anything. For the most part, they're just not great at covering numbers. Now here they are up against a Pelicans team that is one of the worst at covering numbers on the road, 7-17 against the spread, and the Nuggets are just 12-10 against the spread at home, which isn't overwhelming, but you're considering. So maybe they can get another number. Denver just did cover 9.5 against New Orleans and the game here on Tuesday night. And that's what Kelly said, that they would come back and play this one again here. And maybe it could be just the same type of game. Just got to lay a little bit more here. It went under in that one, but I don't know if it's going to go under now in the second matchup. I think I'd prefer to go over here. Trying to remember it's hard to remember every pick we make, but Denver's gone over in 5 of their last 6 games at home. They're still a big time over. New Orleans is 21-16 to the over on the road. I'm sure we took the over and lost last game, but I'm probably going to come right back on it. Feels like here and make that my pick. Billy said, you think the Warriors can win 2 games in a row, right? They just don't feel like they're that great. But okay, Thomas is on New Orleans to do it here to get that number. Billy says this team needs to start over, basically. I think, they're a team that could move on successfully, and it's going to be hard right now to change things too soon here. All right, Jermaine's got the over. Art Tom says Pelicans and over. A lot of over support here. I'm going with you guys. I'm going over. I was just nervous because of last game. It went, pretty significantly under, right? What was it? Oh, no, it went under by 3 points. Okay, well, that's fine. Okay, I'll go over here at 239. Now we can go to the Warriors, right? I mean, the Suns and the Thunder here. With the Thunder favored by double digits now, 12, and the total 227.5 in this one. So, a big number. I get it. You got an Oklahoma City team that dominates this series right now. They've covered 8 straight times when they've been favored against the Suns. So they, whenever they're favored, they handle their business against this team, no doubt about it. Still going to lay a huge number here with the Thunder if you're going to do that, but doesn't feel like it's unachievable given the fact that the Thunder are 28-16 against the spread as a favorite, and Phoenix is one of the worst, if not the worst, spread team around at 17-31 overall this season, and the franchise about to fall apart, losing their superstar here soon. So let's take a look here and see what we got in the matchup with Oklahoma City and Phoenix here. Could Durant be on the move? Is he even going to make this? He's out, right? Or what is the latest status? I don't even know if I know right now. It's so in flux, it feels like. All right, let's see here. Thomas said we got another consensus here. There's so much steam coming in right now. I was kind of waiting to catch up on it. Here, no, Pelicans over was a consensus play. Thank you, Thomas. We all liked it. I liked it. You liked it. Okay. Jermaine says, going to go under in a back-to-backer here right now in this one. Is that what we're talking? No. Might be talking about a different game there. Number 2, Pelicans and Nuggets, right? Okay, Cash Kane says take OKC in this one against the Suns. Tower Tops is on the over. And Thomas is on the over as well here with the Suns and the Thunder. Cash Kane likes the over. Everybody's on the over here. Wow, the widely reported steam did come in on the over in this game. We're going to be playing 2 totals as consensus plays here, Steam, with the over. Robert says the Thunder going to smash here in this one. I think the technicals say Phoenix, but I don't know if I could do it. I think the Thunder might crush. Terrell says KD is going back to Golden State. Is that breaking news or? Okay, there it is. Thomas said it. He likes the consensus is on the over here for sure. Everybody's on it. I'm going to go with Oklahoma City to roll here in this one, and let's put consensus on the over. Let's give out another play. I'll take OKC. I think I like this over. I might use it as a premium. So I'll pivot here and give out the Thunder as my play. So if anybody wants to play a side, but I appreciate this over. I gotta like this over. I really do. So hopefully that's okay. Can I, feel like I'm profiting off you guys. We're out there. I'm out there selling some plays, and I'm just selling the consensus plays. But when it seems so overwhelming, and we're all on it, I want to. Hopefully, there'll be this go on X, and they'll say this handicapper sells the plays of his chat, and I'll get all controversial, and people will talk about me, and I'll say, well, what can I say? It's a great chat. All right. I think that's it for this one. We're almost done with the NBA here, and let's go to the Magic and the Kings here tonight with the Kings favored here by 5.5, and the total is up to 220.5. Wow. Oh, boy. It originally started to go down here. It could have been a head fake, it feels like. Let me update that line for sure, because it is higher than that. 220.5. So I don't know. Orlando does play some low-scoring games, but I kind of favor this move here. Oh, 5.5, 220.5. I might have to make this my suggestion here in this one. I was maybe going to go opposite here because, look, I know the Kings are getting a lot of support here. It does feel like they're the team that everybody's talking about in this game is going to cover this game, but still am kind of a big Orlando fan when it comes to getting the money. Maybe I'm just thinking of earlier in the season. I know it's been a disaster here now of late, and everything's kind of turned around, but Suggs is doubtful here. Not much on the injury report, it feels like. What is the status here of Zach LaVine? DraftKings is up to 6 right now with the Kings. Boy, Orlando struggled here now with 4 straight losses. Sacramento did win and cover against Minnesota last time out. Look, Sacramento's been bad against the spread as well. At this point, they're both kind of a disaster. Maybe the total is for me in this one. Let's see what you guys have in the Magic and the Kings here. Orlando continues to fail against the spread on the road, but kind of like them in this spot. Sacramento not great at covering numbers. Okay, here our Tomps is on the Magic. Thomas likes the under here in this one. Maybe so, now that it's gone up a little bit. All right. I'm going to take the Magic. Cash Kane is taking the Magic here. Robert's taking the Magic. All right. Sometimes the Magic makes your money disappear. That's what happens when you bet the Magic. All right. Redbeard's going under. Twisted's got all of his plays here. Going to spend that much time typing all this information. I'm going to leave this on screen for a minute or two for sure. Thank you, Twisted. I'm going to take the Magic, and You guys kind of like the under in there. I'm not sure. I think I'm going to go the other way, and I might make a premium pick out of it, it feels like. All right, thank you, Twisted, and that's it for the NBA. And let's go to the ice here real quick. We've only got 3 games, and I want to preview some college basketball here on the show. All right, the Bruins are taking on the Rangers here, and the Rangers are up to $1.80. Is that right here in this one? Oh boy, well that's all right. What can you do? It's $1.85 at Bovada here, and look, teams have kind of similar records coming in. Doesn't make you feel that much more comfortable taking the Rangers here in this game at this price. It's pretty high, right? But still, you got Igor in goal here going up against Korpisalo. Could be Swayman, I guess, is what we're seeing as well. But Boston's won 2 in a row and beat, of course, here Minnesota and the Rangers just a couple of nights ago, 6-3 at home. So is it going to be a matter of Rangers revenge here? Either way, you're laying if you're laying these favorite prices, Boston's plus 1.5, minus 165. Could they be trusted or taken in the money line role? I don't know. Feels like a 1-goal game to me. Let's go to the chat, see what you have here maybe in this one with the Rangers. Division rematch here from a couple of nights ago. Boston struggles on the road big time, so how are they going to win the game? Here we go with Nasty Nate says the Bruins will just smash them. New York money line, though, for Kane. And he likes the under. Zoe likes the Rangers here. I guess I got to take the Bruins on the puck line for me at plus 1.5, minus $1.65 or 70. I think the line's a little bit high for teams that are, relatively even records here. Zoe says maybe lay 1 goal here with the Rangers. R. Toms likes the under. Good morning, Team Moss. Here's Bruins team total over for Redbeard. Robert likes the over in this game. And Rangers money line. Rangers team total over for Philly Eagle Flyer. All right. I think we can get it done here relatively quickly. Like I said, I'm going to take the Bruins in this one, plus the 1.5. All right, next up, the Oilers here at the Blackhawks. Now, they're a big favorite here, 275, total 6 over for the most part, it seems like. Big-time mismatch here for sure. But still, Chicago, they've only won 2 of their last 11 games overall coming into this one. Not much to look at. It's just a matter of how you think the Oilers can do it, or maybe can it be the Blackhawks on the puck line for me? Gosh, only 3 games. We can only make so many choices here, so maybe I can get involved with that. Edmonton, they're only about 35% on the puck line as a favorite. Meanwhile, Chicago, they're 26-22 as a puck line dog. But still, at this price, I guess it's almost comparable at plus 1.5, minus 115. So, I'm probably going to do it. Probably just going to take the Blackhawks here, plus 1.5 in this one. See what's happened here with these guys on the puck line a little bit of late. Chicago has covered 5 straight puck lines at home against Edmonton. That seems very reasonable. Edmonton still won 7 of the last 8 meetings between the two teams. Edmonton's gone under in 4 of their last 5, but Chicago's gone over in 5 of their last 6 on the road. I think if I look at this, you look at what the teams have been doing of late. Edmonton 3-7 to the under last 10 games. Chicago 2-7-1 to the under last 10 games. So And I think 3-2 now. If the Oilers get it and it goes to 4-2, I don't think it's going to go much higher than that. I don't think that Edmonton will be busting out here with a big number. So I'm going to take Chicago here on the puck line at +1.5, and see some 6.5 now. What do I have on screen here? 6/20. All right, I'll still go. Well, let me just take the Blackhawks as my play. Let me go to the chat here. Anybody with me on some of these ugly teams today? Feel like I'm going to come in here with my tail between my legs tomorrow on some of these. But got to take them. Got to take them sometimes. Redbeard, I think first period over. Cash Kane says Chicago puck line. Philly Eagle Flyer, Oilers money line, team total on parlay, +118. Twisted's got his 3-teamer in here, and I think Twisted just said take, the Bruins puck line, the Oilers puck line, and the Habs on the puck line. R. Tomps likes the under in this one. Can't disagree there. Jerry Davis says, but how about Blackhawks money line? Just go for it. They did beat them already once this year, if I'm not mistaken. I'm trying to remember now. Okay, Blackhawks first period for Zoe Fay. Oilers come out slow after road wins. All right. All right, one more tonight with the Canadiens on the road with Dobis there in goal. Going up against Kemper, and the Kings, a big favorite here. The Canadiens have hit the wall. They're trying to limp into the All-Star break here. It's been a pretty successful first half, but definitely a tailspin here for Montreal. The Kings have been losing, though, as well. Both teams are off of a win, but Montreal beat San Jose. The Kings beat Carolina here coming into this one. But this feels like maybe the right role for Montreal. So far, Montreal comes in having won 7 of their last 8 games, actually, as road underdogs. So a pretty decent role here. And against these Kings, I think I can grab them on the puck line here. Montreal, even though, let's see what was that last night? We were on them last night in that win over the Sharks. It wasn't comfortable, right? Because we had to actually lay a price with them. Here we're getting them as a big dog on the money line. And this is going to be a low-scoring game with the Kings at home, right? Kings are 10-16 to the under as a favorite. This series always goes under pretty much, right? Last game, 4-1. Last year, 4-0, 4-0, 3-2, 4-2. So I'm going to take the Canadiens here on the puck line in this one. Kings still crushing at home right now. Have won 10 of their last 11. They've won 5 straight over Montreal, but Montreal plays pretty well right now on the road. And you got to think under, man. Okay, just give me Montreal as my play here in this one. Let's go to the chat, see if you like the game between the Canadiens and Kings here. This is my favorite matchup of all the teams in hockey. Yet I've never been to this matchup. All right, JW's back on that Edmonton game there. Cash Kane likes Canadiens on the puck line with me. And is Coin breaking some news there? I don't want to get. I'll double. I'll go off here and make sure. Okay, I do see it now. I do see it. We might have to go with breaking news there with Coin. Okay, we're just loading it up here. Make sure we got all the details right. And let's go to that breaking news. All right, thank you to Coin for breaking in the news there. We've seen it within the last few minutes here. Coin was paying attention. I was trying to find some winners on this card here today, but the Bucks will trade Middleton and AJ Johnson, and they'll flip-flop picks, I think, with Washington as Kyle Kuzma goes to Washington along with Patrick Baldwin and a second-round pick, I do believe, there. So that news just in right now basically got the big names in the deal. Middleton going to the Wizards. Kuzma heads to the Bucks, so it's over for Middleton after all these years in Milwaukee. He's heading out, and Kuzma comes in. So thank you to Coin for breaking that news there and on that trade. All right. JW there likes Montreal on the money line. Jerry says got a pass there. Says can't stand Middleton. One of the biggest disappointments, right? You got to give them some credit. They did win, so. All right, Perky likes the move for the Bucks. Fernando says might have to fade the Wizards now after that in that game against Brooklyn. See if the line's moved at all already. Like I said, I want to use Brooklyn as a premium there somehow today. And it's already moved up to 2.5 here with Brooklyn right now on that one. Right. Robert says Kings and under. All right. I think that's it. While we were doing that, just now the Rangers are getting steamed up right now. They're probably going to go to $1.90 here today. So I'm going to try the Bruins at this rising price. Bobata already has them at 210. I'm sure that's a key indicator that the Rangers are probably in a pretty good position to win this game. But again, I think you got two teams with similar records. I get it. They just played the other night, but still the Rangers cost you 1/4 of a unit on the road, and the Bruins are the same. They lose about 1/4 of a unit on the road, so just feels like the line's going to be a little bit too high, and I'll try the Bruins on the puck line there. All right, that's it for hockey. Let's go to the colleges tonight. It is mid-major Thursday, but there's some good games here, so hopefully you get a package from me tonight. I'll have a lot of those games in there. And let's go with this one here with Oregon, and let's go with all of these. I got about a dozen games. We'll go a little fast, so try to wrap up this show. Thanks, everybody, for joining me here on the Morning Steam. All right, here we go. Oregon and Michigan Big Ten action tonight with Michigan, a big favorite here. Wow, a big favorite here. We've seen kind of the same thing from the Big Ten just because these new teams are in there a little bit. It does feel like these home teams a little bit get it done, but still Oregon's won 7 of their last 9 games overall on the road here. Oregon's also gone over in 8 of their last 12 games on the road coming into this one. And Michigan, taking a look here at the standings coming in the Big Ten right now, you've got Purdue 10-2, but Michigan is 8-2. Give them a lot of credit where they stand right now. Oregon just 5-6 overall so far in conference play coming in. Michigan's gone over in 5 of their last 7 games at home right now. So those two teams definitely trend over a little bit. And see what you like in this one. This is a big number, but I think we're supposed to go Michigan here. Let's go to the chat. I know it's a lot of points, but still might just have to roll here with I feel like is the sharp move. All right, I'm going to check it out in the chat, see what you guys have with Michigan here for Cash Kane. Jerry says Michigan's going to be sweaty. Thomas likes the over here in this one. Maybe we've seen a little bit of over, but Robert's on Michigan. Okay, I feel a little better here right now. Zoe says Oregon is not looking that great. Just take Michigan first half. Yeah, Oregon 1-3. Let's see, 2-8 against the spread for Oregon. Their last 10. They are 3-1 against the spread as an underdog. Super true. Maybe saying take the points. Jerry said I got 7.5 last night. Now I believe is at 8.5 though. 8.5, 153. Jake says go over. Oldie says he might be ready to come in on Oregon here right now. Oh, I'll try Michigan here to get this big number. I'm going to go with the Wolverines. Missouri and Tennessee here in this one. And what's wrong here with what's wrong, Tennessee? Both teams come in with excellent records, but right now it's Missouri, the hotter team. They're 17-4, ranked 15th. Tennessee's 18-4 and ranked 4th, but Missouri's a hot team covering or winning in their last two games, covering against Mississippi State and Mississippi. Recently won and covered against Arkansas and Florida. Tennessee, meanwhile, did hammer Florida pretty good last time out, no doubt, by 20 points in a big time under, but did fail against Kentucky and lost to Auburn as a dog. They got the money. So let's take a look here with the Missouri and Tennessee. I want no part, I feel, of Tennessee right now, and I'm probably going to be taking these points too. I know I've whipped on a few of these spots right now, but see what you have in this one, Missouri and Tennessee. All right, here we go. Here we go in the chat. Sorry about that. All right. Missouri points with Tennessee off that blowout here for Jerry. R. Thompson's on Missouri. Oldie's on Missouri. Robert likes the over. So, okay, I feel comfortable now. I'll take Missouri. I'm sure glad I got you guys right now in some of these games. And I'll take Missouri here. They have covered for the last 5 meetings against the Volunteers. No doubt Tennessee can't be stopped at home. They seem to win every game. They're 12-1 right now, but all they got to do is win. Covering might be another issue. They're not terrible at covering spreads, but look, so far, right, they just mentioned those losses, and remember the loss to Vanderbilt too. So Missouri's done pretty well in these games of late. Probably should read off. Oh, Brooklyn's getting steamed right now, but we already knew that, right, in the game against Washington. So Brooklyn taking that steam. They might get a blowout win tonight, it feels like. It's hard to say that about the Brooklyn Nets, but it probably was going to come. All right, Robert liked the over. Billy said Michigan all day in that other game. Here we go. I'm on Missouri in this one. Hey, we got to get at least something decent in here from the mid-majors, and we've got Mason and Washington here with Mason coming in on that big-time winning streak still. Man, they're unstoppable, and they're only favored by 3 here. Actually, it's gone down. And George Washington's been playing pretty great, no doubt about it, doing a great job here. But Mason down to 2.5. Come on, they just feel like a great team here at this point, the way things are going. And and the total here right now at 1. Oh, it's down for sure. It's down to at least 129, maybe 130. Let's put 130 for now. But the total has definitely been on the move here with this one. But we know right now at the top of the standings, Mason 8-1, George Washington down there just 4-5 here right now. Mason kind of running away with it. Why wouldn't they win this game? It could be a trappy game, I guess, but you're not going to get me off George Mason here. I know they have trouble covering some numbers, but George Washington, they're 8-4 against the spread at home, 11-1 straight up. Overall is George Washington at home, but I've got to take George Mason here and figure that they are head and shoulders above them at this point. Like, you got to draw the line somewhere. All right. Let's see here. Jerry was talking about that Tennessee game. Here's George Washington. They'll take the money line. Jerry says it's a revenge game. You got to consider that. Mason won 80-77 in that last game. I think GW got the money there, right? In that one? There's no doubt Mason's played them, a little bit easier schedule, but you know what? George Washington also has played a bottom 3 conference schedule this year so far. Twisted's got his college plays there. Thank you. Thank you, Twisted. Thank you for putting those games up there. Increase our coverage a little bit. Robert McCormick on the over. Zoe says, don't overthink, just like Drake yesterday. Man, I felt like I screwed that game up totally. Like I just didn't hit it as much as I didn't hit it publicly. I didn't I didn't go with it strong and talk about it. Drake was a monster yesterday. Okay, here's more Mason for Jake. So there's some Washington out there. All right, let's keep it moving here, though, right now. So, okay, there was some steam. Let me catch up on all the steam if I can. There was some steam that came in on this one. We just talked about the Brooklyn Nets, but that was kind of obvious. How about Winthrop and Charleston Southern? This one took some steam to the under with, Winthrop and Charleston Southern. I think they've had a few overs and respectively this season, but the steam just came in on the under at 155. Down to 154 here with Winthrop and Charleston Southern. Also, a little while ago here, while we were previewing the hockey, High Point and Radford on the extra board, steam to the over here. That might be something I can get behind. It was 145, but it's up to 146.5, maybe even 147 here. High Point and Radford steam to the over. Holy Cross and Army. Another game where these two could produce. They produced some overs this year. It was 141. We're up to 143.5 here. Holy Cross and Army. It's a pretty big move to the over on some widely reported steam. Illinois and Rutgers steam to the under here in Illinois and Rutgers. This is a game that we were going to preview. I was going to be on the over, but the steam just came in on the under. I'll probably still go and fade this steam, but it did come in on the under here to 157.5, moving lower, Illinois and Rutgers. Queens, you saw the play there from Twisted, but this one's on the total. Queens and Central Arkansas steam to the under here. Central Arkansas at home, not often as a dog, but can go under in some of those games. We're seeing steam to the under right now. Queens and Central Arkansas, 147.5 down to 146.5 here with Queens and Central Arkansas. Loyola, Maryland, and Lafayette steam to the over in this one. Probably should have saw this one coming. These two always go over when facing off against one another, and this season they've been pretty steady overs as well. The steam came in on the over with Loyola, Maryland, and Lafayette. It was 137. We're up to 138.5. It looks like right now at some spots. Loyola, Maryland, and Lafayette. Also, High Point took the steam. We just talked about the total moving higher, and also High Point took the steam. They were a -4-point favorite. They're up to -5 or so at some spots. High Point took the steam against Radford. Winthrop and Charleston Southern. There's two teams that have had some overs this season, and the steam came in on the over. Is that right? Okay, I thought it came in on the under earlier, but I stand corrected here. This one's at 154.5, I believe, right now. I'll just check on that. It looks like steam to the over, Winthrop and Charleston Southern. Okay, so here we are, Cincinnati and Central Florida here, steam to the over. So I'll stop it right here at 145. It looks like we're up to 145 and a half. Let's go over the numbers here with this matchup, right? Because so far this season, it looks like it's been mostly unders for Cincinnati and Central Florida. Let's take a look maybe what you guys have here in this one. But Cincinnati comes in here on a 4-game losing streak right now and an even longer losing streak against the spread as they are struggling for sure. 8 of the last 11 meetings between these two teams have gone under here. So that also flies in the face of that steam that just came in to the over. Cincinnati's the biggest under team in the country this season at 3-18 to the under. They're also 0-8 to the under on the road right now. And UCF, they are a team that trends a little bit to the over overall this season, but they're 7-9 to the under at home, and 4 of their last 5 games have gone under as well. Talking about Central Florida here, so I don't know. I kind of like this one as a premium here on the side. Now, Cincinnati has won 5 of the last 6 meetings between these two teams, but Cincinnati's also 7-14 against the spread this year, 1-9 against the spread in their last 10, 0-5 against the spread as a road dog. So I'm going to take Central Florida here, minus the points, and I'm probably going to be playing this total as a premium later on. Right here, Bill says he likes High Point and App State. Super True says he likes the under there. Fade that over, Steam, I think is what he's saying there. Jerry talking about, yeah, there we go. Says that High Point looks kind of crazy there. Billy Siegfried, I think, says he wants more Mountain West. Super True on the over with that Winthrop game. Here's Jerry wants Fort Wayne over. Cash Canyon likes Central Florida. Jerry says Central Florida, lay it. And Billy says Central Florida as well. I'm on it. I'm on it with you guys. Give me Central Florida in this one. Next up, got action here in the Big 12 with West Virginia taking on TCU. I knew we'd come to this point of the show because I don't know what I'm doing here in this one. If you look at the in general, right? I mean, West Virginia has been the far superior spread team between these two teams, and you'd have to think that these two teams are a dead solid under the way these guys are racking up these unders so far this season. Now, the series history does have a little bit of over tendency between these two, but TCU has gone under in 5 straight games at home. If you combine the two teams, they are 12-28 to the under so far this season. That looks pretty solid. I know we got a low number here, but we've seen, right, some of these West Virginia and TCU games kind of drug out a little bit. Is that a word? All right, right now, 1.5 and 1 down to 127 here. I better mark it down if I'm going to kind of roll with that a little bit. Now, West Virginia, they are 5-2 against the spread on the road. Meanwhile, TCU 4-8 against the spread as a favorite here. But TCU does perform pretty well at home, straight up on the money line, right? 10-2, and they only have to win this game by 1.5. So I'm going to end up here on the under as my play with West Virginia and TCU. And Super True's on West Virginia. And Cash Cane says, yeah, but they're not winning here right now, West Virginia. They did beat Cincinnati, of course, but TCU's coming off a win over Colorado. Both those teams had 3-game losing streaks before. Cash Cane likes Virginia Tech Monroe and Georgia State getting steamed here right now to the over. It was 147. Looks like it's going to go up to 148, maybe even 148 and a half with steam to the over here. Monroe and Georgia State right now steam to the over. Next up is Illinois and Rutgers. We definitely just talked about some steam there in that one, right? With that steam to the under. And I said, I don't know if I like that. Probably should go back and just look at the sharp money action here. And still, like I said, I think I'm opposite on this one with Illinois and Rutgers. I'm pretty sure I'm still going to be on the over here. You can take a look at some of the numbers here, but I got to respect that steam that came in, though, on the under here for sure. Yeah. All right, let's see what you guys have to say in this one. Illinois is 2-6 on the road against the spread. Meanwhile, Rutgers 7-5 against the spread as an underdog here in this one. They're getting the points at home, so let's see what you guys have in this one. I might have spoke too soon on that total. Rarely do I make an in-show adjustment, but I think we're going to get one here possibly. Thomas does like the over, though, in that one. Yeah, I mean, I could, Illinois, 11-7 to the over is a favorite. Rutgers 7-5 to the over is a dog, but actually switching it, I'm not going against Thomas. That's not the call, but I'm going to go under here. The rare in-show adjustment. Okay, 3-point shooting, so the under. Robert's on the under here, so all right. I'm going with the under, you guys. Scratching my pre-show pick. Only about the 5th time I've done that since the start of the year, I'll say. Yeah, maybe it's been longer. Okay, a few more games here, and we'll get out of here. How about Creighton and Providence here today? Got Creighton on the road, 3.5 here in this one. The total is at 143. Yeah, 3.5, 143. That sounds about right here in this one with Creighton and Rutgers. Creighton and Providence here. Creighton obviously playing pretty decent here. Good winning streak all of a sudden. Rolling up these victories here, and now they are 9-0-1 against the spread in their last 10 games. They've been winning and covering every time out. They got it done against Villanova. They got it done against Xavier, Seton Hall, DePaul, Connecticut, you name it, they're getting it done. These two teams met, about 3 weeks ago. Creighton got the win by 20 points at home, covered 9.5 in an over in that one. I think we could just see an instant replay here. I'm taking Creighton, though, on the road and lay 3.5 points against Providence here. I know Nate's going to be in there on his Friars, but I think Creighton's pretty hot right now. Can't diss too much on Providence. They are 9-2 straight up at home, and here they are getting points. But Creighton 13-3 straight up as a favorite. Providence 8-3 against the spread as a dog. So there's definitely plenty of trends to back up Providence here. Just they were 10-point dogs in the last game, and they lost by 20 to this team. But they are at home here. Probably should close the gap, but we're only laying 3.5. I got to stay with Creighton. Jake's on Creighton. Robert's on the under. Nate is on the Friars. Robert is on the over here. Creighton money line for Thomas. Jerry says this is where Providence pulls the upset. And let's see here. Peasy says, what's going on in the Euro League today? I think we got some moves here. At least we can roll for Peasy a little bit. And Bill says Creighton as well. Gotta appreciate, man, Peasy on top of this Uh, PZ, how about the Caribbean World Series? Did anybody look at the Caribbean World Series last night with that team that came in from Japan, and they didn't look good at all? They took the steam from the Sharps, and they got blown out. All right, what I'm seeing here, PZ. Gonna try
Final.
the moves here. Barcelona over 175.5, and Monaco over 169. Barcelona over and Monaco over. Euro League plays. All right, Jerry said take the Redbirds. I thought this team from Japan was supposed to come in and be credible, right? I when I look at it, I was like, how is this team going to be credible? Why are we bringing in this team to compete in the Caribbean World Series? Why can't we get a better team from Japan in here? And they were down like 7-0 in the fourth inning. They were down, I think, 4-0 in the first inning or something like that. So, all right. We were on Creighton there, right? So let's move on here. Get a few more. How about Nebraska here? Taking on Washington in this one with Nebraska on the road in this one. -1.5. Total coming in here at 143. All right, see what you guys like in this one with Nebraska and Washington here. I know what I like. I'm going to take Washington to win this game. Yeah, I think you could make some argument that Nebraska, you look at some of the numbers coming in, maybe they could make an argument for Nebraska. They obviously have the better record. They've won their last 2 games here. They beat Oregon, remember. They also beat Illinois. Meanwhile, for Washington here, they did win against Minnesota in that upset here the other night to snap that losing streak. So a little bit of promise there for Washington. Washington is 7-4 against the spread as an underdog. Nebraska is 8-5 against the spread as a favorite, but at home here, I'm going to try Washington +1.5. Again, I don't have a lot of historical, right? Because I'm not going to kind of count too much of the conference. These are new conference foes, so I'm not looking too much back at conference play or, yes, some of the conference results so far are definitely valid, but I think I'm treating a lot of these matchups individually here right now and, see how it works out in comparison to what we've seen conference wide with road favorites here. So Nebraska's 1-4 straight up their last 5 games on the road. Washington's covered 4 of their last 5 games at home, and Washington's done a nice job here, 8-5 straight up at home this season. So they're not great as an underdog straight up, but I'm going to try them here. Usually it's a little bit bigger spread, obviously. Nebraska's 11-2 straight up as a favorite, so can't argue with that, but I'm going to take Washington here as my play. I figure this one's going to have some points, so I'd rather have the home team. All right, looks like you guys are going to be opposite, though, to me there. And Nebraska money line there for Jerry. Nebraska for our Toms. Here's an over from Robert. I think I'm with Robert there probably. Jake's on Nebraska. So you guys are on Nebraska heavy. Thomas is with me on Washington, though. Okay. Did I say Jake on Nebraska? Yes, I did. All right, couple more here. I like these late games, even if we're disagreeing. Colorado State and New Mexico. Just had to pick this one out, certainly, in the Mountain West right now. At least a decent, seems like a pretty decent game out of the rest of the group here since I didn't get too deep into the conference action. But you have Colorado State. They're still hanging around 8-2 right now, 2 games back of New Mexico in the standings. Of course, Utah State half a game back at 10-2 right now. And then you have Colorado State and disappointing San Diego State, shall I say. New Mexico here, an 8.5-point favorite. Total 149.5 here coming into this one. So I think it's a pretty good matchup. Here, both teams riding 4-game winning streaks here at this point, but so tough going into the pit. We know that, but still pretty big number. New Mexico here, just 2-4 against the spread against Colorado State. They've actually gotten the number in a few of the games here recently between these two. The teams met back on my birthday. It was 76-68 CSU back on December 28th as New Mexico got the win and the cover on the road in that one. So it's a big number, but it feels like the spot is supposed to be New Mexico. It's just that we're having to lay a pretty big number here right now. I'm going to do it. I'm taking New Mexico. I don't feel great about this one. I might be playing the total as a premium. So I'm just going to go with New Mexico. I think that is my preferred bet of the side. New Mexico, give them some credit. They're 8-5 against the spread at home. CSU is 3-5 against the spread as a dog. So anybody with me here, I wouldn't mind. If you take Colorado State, I don't mind. They're obviously playing pretty well this season. Thomas is on Colorado State. Roberts on the under. Lay it at the pit, says Jerry. Zoe loves the pit, one of the best venues you could ever watch a college basketball game, even when it's a tournament, right? Maybe even more so when it's been tournament games, because it's just such a great, it's not like when they put tournament games in there that it's stale, right? You still have great fans coming in, so I think it's even better for tournament games. Or a big New Mexico game. We know they're not all big anymore, but having a great year right now, no doubt. Here's the underlean there. I'm going to take New Mexico to roll. Last one up, Wake Forest and Stanford. Here, ACC matchup tonight. Wake Forest 16-6, Stanford 15-7 coming into this one. Stanford was on a winning streak before they lost that last game to SMU, 85-61. But still, Stanford 9-5 against the spread as a favorite, and Wake Forest 3-5 against the spread as a dog. Now, these two teams produced some unders, but I feel like today I'm going to not be going with the trends. It feels like. Let's see what you guys might have in this one. Stanford 4-1 against the spread. Their last 5 games at home right now. Wake Forest just 7-16-1 against the spread. Their last 24 games on the road. But again, this is an unfamiliar trip for Wake Forest. Can they hang in here in this one? Wake Forest has lost 13 of their last 17 road games, and Stanford's 12-1 at home. All right, I'm going to take Stanford as my play here. I was thinking about playing the total, but just give me Stanford at home against Wake in this one. And Jake says it was tough. I feel like it was, but I feel like I sometimes come out hitting these, and I'm looking for a winning day in college basketball. We had a nice week. We were definitely not getting it done. Had a nice day, kind of got the slate going again. Stanford, lay it here for Jerry. Robert says Stanford. All right, let's go to the contest here. The show's over. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate you joining me here on the Morning Steam Show. You can get my plays today. I'll have more college basketball for sure. I'm going to try to hit at least probably 10 or a dozen more games today with my premium service. Check me out over at Tony's. Check me out there. Check me out here at winnable.com and get my plays here by clicking the QR code in the lower right-hand corner of the screen. Get more action from me to also in the NBA today. And I think I might have one more play for a premium in the NHL here going to be light on this NHL card for sure today. So check me out, $4 a day, $8 a week, or $19.95 a month to get more content. This is viewer-supported programming here on the Sports Money Network, and the way you support me is by subscribing to my additional plays, my additional content here. So appreciate that, really appreciate that. I think everybody knows if they're like a longer term subscriber, when you guys are renewing for a month, I'm tacking another 3, 5, 7 days on there. It just depends. If I'm not picking up my share of the bargain, I'm pumping it up a little bit more. If I've had a good run, maybe I'm just putting a few extra days on there, but there's no doubt you get the weekly. I'm putting about 10 days on there right now. I just click the button a few times. If you're, if you're a regular in the chat, you might even get a few more clicks on there. So really appreciate you guys. This is how you get more plays from me. Set your notifications and get delivered more content each day from me here. All right, let's get ready for our drawing today. Got a lot of you eligible here in the chat. All typed in something in there, right? Here we go. And let's see who we got. Thank you, everybody. I think everybody's kind of typing in a few more things there to make sure they're eligible. Give it. Curtis typed in something. Also, Texas here today. Thomas says there are our plays. Miami, New Orleans over, Thunder over. It's a 3-teamer tonight. Thanks, everybody. Zoe, let's have a good day. I'm ready to go. All right, here comes the contest. Oops. Here we go. Let's fire it up. See who wins. Terrell, Jake, PZ, Thomas, Oldie, Zoe, Jerry, Bill, Super True, Robert McCormick, and Perky wins. Perky wins here, and he could get the 3-teamer. Get your Venmo, Cash App, Zelle, PayPal, whatever it takes. Perky going to win the prize here today with a 3-teamer. If we get 400 views and hit a 3-teamer, well, I guess, $24 for Perky. He could always use a little lunch money. That might not even get him half a sandwich. All right. Perky wins today. Thank you, everybody, for joining me here on the show. And we'll see you tomorrow here at 9 a.m. Eastern and 6 Pacific. More morning steam. Don't forget, today we have pre-gaming with Mikey Money at 6 Eastern and 3 Pacific time. For the Sports Money Network, I'm Ramon Scott. Catch you tomorrow. So long.
Steam, it's time to break one for cover. That's gonna cover, that's gonna cash. Then we make the 100-yard dash to the window. I don't know what you thought. It's Ramon Scott, running so hot. Sports make money and we make money with sports money every single day. NFL, NHL, NCAA. Stay away from the juice, we might play a parlay. It's the morning steam. What? Ramon Scott, sports money. What? Wake your ass up and let's get to